Hello and welcome to Steve's Long Stay Vintage Radio Workshop. And today, before I start the main thing, I've got this, which is I found, which is rather interesting. It's a microphone. It's a microphone from an Eastern European tape recorder. But it's the branding that I find interesting. This is branded on the microphone and on the lid there, you see, I want the right way up myself, as a Tesla. One does wonder, doesn't one? Could the firm that made this, if it still exists, see Elon Musk? It's a thought. This is a Philco model A3610. They come in black and they come in well wooden colour as well, but they all come in Bakelite, and this one came from Golborne, and it came from Golborne with an interesting problem that might not be the radio's fault, it might be the previous owner's fault. I know it's awful to say, but this particular radio, and it helps to get the right plug, doesn't it? Whichever one it is. Hang on. That one. Okay, right. Yeah. This one, and I'll put this one has been restored. It's a new lead on. It's got all the valves, hopefully in the right places. I'll check that. Long wave, medium wave and short and VHF. Some of these, by the way, have short wave on them as well. This one doesn't. But it does have another issue. And the other issue is the fact that, as you can hear, it doesn't seem to work. Now, I've got a knob somewhere for this. Here we are, right, for this, so we'll now it doesn't work on any waveband, but there's a slight crackle from the speaker, which proves that there's power there, but also I don't know anything else, quite frankly, at the moment. Interesting this, in that the output valve is not an AL84 as one would expect. It's a 6BW6, which is an RF pen sword. I kid you not. If I was to bring it up now on one of the valve sites, if this thing will work, you would see that. This is actually a radio with a different sort of pen sword in the output. It does light up, by the way. This set, by the way, has a transformer, but it doesn't get hot, or and the voltages do seem to be alright as far as I know. So, but I don't know. So let's have this apart and find out, shall we? Because there's something interesting here. Now, any set like this has been restored elsewhere, but come to me without knobs. Yeah, kid you not, without knobs. Load of new bits, even a new speaker actually, but nothing else. There's obviously something gone astray somewhere. So be ready for anything. So what I do, whip this one apart and have a close look and find out what's going on. Might be simple, might be hard. it might be something stupid that somebody done and not noticed. At this stage, we don't know, but be ready for anything. Underneath here, by the way, there's one or two things been changed, but not many of the things that I always felt would be. So, few passages there of the flat variety, you know, they don't go. These generally don't. So there's a So it'll be interesting. Down here, actually, there's there doesn't appear to be much they'd be put in the wrong place, I don't think. But them RS capacitors do tend to fail. They're quite old now, those, and they weren't too good to begin with. They weren't as bad as say Hunts's, but that. Anyway, so what I'll do, I'll do that in hopes of the corn. By the way, this is in the back for a reason, so you know I can't actually turn around and just remove it, so we don't. So put it on with the right plug. There we are. Let it come up. Like that. By the way, I've got some knobs that will go on here, so that's again not an issue. But yeah, anyway, if I end up going to do that, and I think we go to something like there. We've got something okay. Not a lot, but something there okay. So from there, we go to the other side of it and try and hopefully, well, I've put my screwdriver just now. I hope there isn't anything too bad, because it's a bit of a Stephen Pendlebury thing to do that, you know, because as some people know, I don't really do much in the guise of safety around here. But then again, when it's at the back of a transmitter with 100,000 volts going through it, you know, after that, then it doesn't really matter. So yeah, anyway, so let's have a look on both sides of this, shall we, and see what it's doing. First of all, there. And that should go to first grid. Now that valve, by the way, is not a pentode. It's actually a tetrode. In actual fact, it's the 6V6 in a B9A case. Just so you know. And somewhere there should be With that off, by the way, I find it's easier to get so anyway, that side of it there is 68 volts, and the other side of it are 40 millivolts, which I suppose is fair enough. And from there to there, there's a bit less. See that resistor there. Okay, so that means therefore that as far as I know that is okay. Now, the grid of the UABC80, the next place we go, and I suppose we could pick that up on the volume control actually. Be able to get at that actually. So EABC80 grid. EABC80 grid, because the EABC80 actually is 3 valves in one. It is a triode before the not the Pento, the tetrode in this, and of course one diode for AM and 2 for FM. So and so that goes to that goes to there. Okay, that's the anode of the triode side of it. Hang on a minute. Okay. Okay, fine, yeah, okay, so that's there, okay. So now we need to find out on the wave change switch, which I think is this one here, which one it needs to be now. Now this, as I said, these have two. These have actually have two. These actually have two drive belts in them, shall we say? One for the dial and one for the wave change switch, which is here, which might be the problem, judging by that. It must be. that is either 5 Live or Talk Sport judging by. So first of all, power off, and let's give that switch some attention, because that appears to be the first problem we've come across. And it might not be the only one, we don't know, but first thing we do is give that a good polish, as it were, with the old switch cleaner. Anyway, switch cleaner, so give it a good spray, like that, all of them, like that. And now we just do that a bit, like that. Do it again. Amazing what this stuff does. It really does. As a kid, I had to W40s with miracles, but now, of course, with different sorts to do different things, it's a bit better to use on stuff like this, you know. So right, now let's see what that does, shall we? Give it time to warm up. Ah ha ha! Right, so I'll put some knobs on that side, and we'll see if it. I'll do that as well while I'm at it. Right, so I've got some knobs to put on that side, and we'll see up and down and see what's going on. Now the second, the interesting thing is here and here, and that switch is only only when the set goes to VHF, like so. See, like so. Okay. Now that switches the RF and the EABCH over here. Obviously, switches power to the VHF part of the radio up here, which is a 1287, surprisingly. I say that's an ECC81, and also switches from AM to FM here as well, so that's something else. On FM, by the way, the frequency changer, the diode part of it is not used. It simply works as another diode for the FM. It's that's switched here as well. Okay. Anyway, now with all that done, let's now plug it back in. Keep my life in my hands here, you know. And we'll see what won't work now. Oh. seems to be alive, but
press conference today. That's coming up after the news on 5 Live with Russell's. The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Review of the case of Sarah Sharif, who was murdered
that
by
does
her
sound
stepmother.
a little bit distorted to me, that.
Safeguarding system. Surrey County Council.
That sounds to me like it's might be the speaker's not the right one, but we'll see. So if I go one way, we go to long wave, and the other way, we go to FM. Which doesn't seem to be doing a lot, does it? Let's see if that helps at all. Again, it seems very, very low, does that? So I'll put it the right way up and put aerials on and see if that helps us out. It sometimes does.
Jack Grealish. Marcus Rashford is correct. Jude Bellingham is also. We need more time here. What are you going to give the answer to this? Oh, we'll give you the answer about, I don't know, 25 minutes into the second half, something like that. So, yeah, just around the midway stage of the half, we're about 70 minutes something.
So you just said in the last couple of years, but in my mind I had Connor Cody. That wasn't the last couple of years, was it?
No, Connor's an incorrect answer. Phil Foden? Phil Foden hasn't scored for England in that time.
Flip an extra. Come on, mate. Come on.
Right, well, first of all, that valve appears to be a bit loose.
Anyway, surely, if you do know, it's just for fun, isn't it? Unless Jim wants to dish out any expensive.
So I've just put that back in its stage.
You know me.
It's come up quite a bit, that. So either that valve was to be replaced, or
There's a parajoke in there.
just want cleaning up. But one thing else I've found with this, actually, now going a bit further, is the speaker. Oh dear. Nice speaker, but not much use like that. So I'll put my own speaker on and see if that improves it any further. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Well, first of all, that speaker's gone out. It's very heavy, actually. I might look look into recording that. I put this one in the pivot point, and now we've got to have a quick look at the bottom of these valves and especially this one. There we go. So now I go and put the valve back in and wiggle it around a bit, or jiggle it a little bit, as Arkwright would say. There we go. These are all okay, and so now let's give this radio some power and see what it does. And straight away lights will come on. That proves it's done, by the way. A trick, by the way, that there for people who are interested in such things. If the lights always work, then you know when it's set live, when you can't look around inside it. That's one of the bosses, that. And the teenagers, anybody else is interested in mending old radios.
Price right, and I reckon what's going to happen here. Like, I think Ben will run it on points, and I think there'll be a trilogy.
It's to attack, and then when the opportunity to attack out wide and use the...
That's a lot better, that, isn't it?
Of Lawrence and Dingwall in the midfield.
Now, why is that? Well, first of all, that is a speaker from this era, and secondly, the older speakers like these are a lot more efficient than the modern ones. So, if possible, try and get an older type speaker because they are in fact more efficient. Anyway. Goes a long wave. I think this is a long wave.
People voted in a by-election in a small town in Wales, but it was a vote that sent shivers down the spine of the Labour Party, as it suggests that Rhys Iorwerth, the leader of Plaid Cymru, could be the next First Minister of Wales.
Oh, well, you see. Okay, well, go on the other way.
What is more,
let's see what happens on VHF. By the way, on these, just for the record, with these sets, it's an ECC81 rather than ECC85. So that's something that we need to look for.
Of butcherings over the years, but I forgive that.
It's a bit long in the tooth, that, isn't it? Okay. That's as growth past it, that is more like it.
Well, one I'd say, not if I had, I mean, what's the big deal? But what they'd done was they went digging for my birth certificate. And you know what? It does say Jones on there.
And that does sound more or less okay. More or less because unfortunately it's not still a bit lacklustre on sensitivity.
It should be disallowed. I sometimes sense that for you and for people from Plaid and people from Wales and your country, they don't try to understand your country, and they patronise it. Yeah, it's something that we're used to, and even people in Wales tend to think we're a small nation, and you know, what I see as part of my job in politics, my mission in politics, is to make us more confident and to understand that we're not
Okay, well let's try it on the big aerial, because of course radios of this area do tend to use a bigger aerial, so I'll put it on one and see what happens.
The boards economically standing up, ploughing our furrow in the world is to have more confidence in our ability to.
Maybe sometimes you know you need to write an album. Maybe sometimes inspiration strikes and you just want to write the song. But what does the process usually look like at the beginning of a song?
It is different. I mean, I loved it out there. It was so beautiful.
He's come back.
Done.
Okay, well that's Radio 2, sounded like Radio 1 as it used to be, which I didn't like.
It was done.
We should get to Classic FM. This one, by the way, only goes up to, I think it's 100 megahertz, so yeah, in these days, when this was made,
Forgive me. My dad would have said of me, you never had a proper job. You're a journalist.
by the time when a segment like this was made, there was only BBC 2, Home, Third and Light under the line.
Wales, and we've talked a lot.
Never, of course, it goes right up, so it needs to. Possibly we might be able to fit it on that end. We don't know.
In order to prepare them for the eventual.
What's it?
Cambridge government. It's about talking to people who have been in government, including from my own party, about the experiences, good and bad.
Let's talk a bit about your background. You grew up. Plaid Cymru was in the family, wasn't it?
There we go.
Plaid Cymru was very much.
It goes off like that, and we have a quick look at the front end of the VHF and see if we can tweak it for Classic FM. I'm going no further than that because Classic FM is the station and the dial that we're listening to. Apart from that, it's really not all that good, to be honest. Now these VHF tuners, whether it's a UCC85 or ECC85 or ECC81 or whatever, they all work in the same sort of a way. Inside there are two triodes, or in some American sets, tetrals, but yeah, but most of them, all of them in this country actually seem to have either an ECC something in, 1 or 5, or UCC5, or some of the early ones have two U or E F8s, but the same applies. The first one, the first setting, the first triad is an RF amplifier, okay. The second one mixes it down to 10.7 megahertz, and then it goes to the circuit, and of course at the end here it can be either on AM 1 diode or on FM 2 diodes in the U or E, or in some cases H, ABC82, which is here. I'll come back to the H in a minute actually, because there's something about that I want to talk about. Anyway, now, so what you do, switch it on, being careful not to get yourself caught in between, you know. Preferably with the correct plug. There's a lot these days, so. Okay, so that goes on. Lights come on. And of course we wait for it to warm up and wait. In these days this was which was common, but nowadays it's not, you know, so of course on FM this switches over here as well, so switches it from AM to FM here and here, like I said previously. Right. So that's not doing it right, lot, is it? Yeah, okay. Ah, that's probably why. Okay, so it's this way, okay. It's there, okay, fine. It is there. Okay, right, well, what we do now is we get the non-metallic screwdriver, yeah, if I can find it. I didn't just know actually, so I shouldn't. So it's there, okay, right. And one of these two here.
Flattery and Richard E. Grant. Not ever bitten. Not. You are not. Yes.
Fisher Investments UK. Retirement advice that's individual as you are. Learn more at fisherinvestments.co.uk. Investing involves the risk of loss. Fisher Investments UK is regulated by the UK Financial Conduct Authority.
Enjoy the most relaxing music while you book tickets to Aviva Studios.
I think this
See
is it.
The Moonwalkers, a cinematic voyage to the moon.
It is, right, okay, so now we know this set will tune up, take off this FM, which is what I want. The other end, well, really I don't know until I've put it the right way up, like that. Like that, and we'll switch it back on. So now a simple tweak underneath, and this radio goes go up to Classic FM. As far as the other end goes, it's either gonna
coin in Nottingham on Monday. Matthew Smith, who's also 20 and from Carlton,
Let's see what that is. It should be Radio 1, Radio 2, that. Not as much difference between 2 and 1 these days.
Officers have arrested 5 people in London on suspicion of encouraging support for Palestine action on Westminster Bridge. The group's been banned by the government under terrorism laws. Those arrested are aged between 50 and 75. Pope Leo has urged filmmakers to use their craft to confront pain and injustice during an event in the Vatican celebrating creativity. Kate Blanchett and Chris Pine attended, alongside directors including Spike Lee and Gus Van Sant. Sarah Rainsford reports from Rome.
6 months on from his election, this was a sprinkling of stardust for Leo XIV, perhaps a way of connecting more, reaching beyond strictly Catholic circles. For his audience, it was a strong show of support. They applauded loudly as the Pope worried that their world was in danger as cinemas close, what he called the beating heart of communities. Some of his superstar guests came bearing gifts. Spike Lee brought a New York Knicks basketball vest, number 14, for Leo, the American Pope.
And tonight's weather, much of Scotland, Northern Ireland and the north of England will be dry. Showers will move into the far north. Elsewhere it will be largely cloudy with a few spots of rain. That's the latest BBC News. It is 3 minutes past 6.
This is Lisa Tarmac.
Okay, that's okay. So now we know that it now goes up and gets Classic FM and Radio 2 on the dial, so that's a little bit more useful generally, especially for me, because Classic FM it's one of the stations that I do tend to listen to a bit these days. Again, it's probably age, but there you go, it's quite a good station. Anyway, on we go and see what else. Now then, as far as tweaking goes. Go the other way again very quickly.
The forester wakes up, grabs him.
Okay.
Networks were willing to do those settlements.
Radio 4.
We'll get him on the show next. BBC Upload.
Radio Manchester. Don't know. Probably Radio Bolton, that. And there's Classic FM, so. That seems okay. Indeed. Right. Let's find the speakers to go in the case. Because not putting that back in. What I've done is I've taken out the speaker I put in as a test, and I've fitted a phone speaker. I know it's made in Yorkshire, but you know it is old, so I'll let it in, and it works. Classic FM there, as you can hear, pretty well. By the way, that's on a piece of Wi-Fi antenna, so there you go. Anyway, like I said, it's now a much more useful radio because of that. So now, what I've got to do is put the thing back together and test it again. Knobs, by the way, knobs, yes, there aren't any with this, so I'm going to find 4 that will do, a set of 4 that will do, and put them on. Nice new radio, isn't it? This is a Philco A3610. Now, these are nice sets when they work, very nice sets, as you can hear. But things to look out for them. Well, first of all, he says, when I forget, first of all, he says, is that you think about the output transformer on these, because on some models, the output transformer actually operates the tone by feeding some at the back. It's a special transformer, but if that fails, it's not the end of the world. No way. What you do is to leave the output transformer, the old one, in place, but disconnect the primary. Okay, get another transformer and put that in to feed the speaker. Okay, so it goes power in, speaker. So basically it goes power in off the mains, the transformer in this case, and then of course it goes through the primary of the output transformer to the output valve, which is interesting one on this, like I said earlier. That output, the new one this is, yeah, and that then goes to the speaker, and that brings the audio through. Now usually what happens then is that from the speaker, the old transformer will still do, in most cases, the bit which does the tone control. So we end up with two transformers. The old one is just doing a little bit for tone control, and the rest of it is being done by the new one, and it works rather well. So that's one way of doing that if you can't be bothered doing stuff like rewind or anything like that. Now the other thing with these actually is there's also a A3610U. A3610U. From outside it's identical apart from the back, which has a 3610U, and they operate with a mains dropping resistor and a very interesting set of valves. I'd like to see one actually. If everyone's got the A3610U version, yes please. This one has a standard series of valves in it. Now most U series sets have the U series valves, obviously, but these don't. The A3610U version has valves in such as HABC80 and HL90. It's a completely different valve range, which is why I want it. And the way it's wired, actually, it could be rather fun, and I like fun, so always like to have some. Anyway, the knobs on the side, the ones I've got for it, don't work through the cabinet, so I'll go and find some knobs for it, which I'm not due tonight because it's quite cold in here actually. And so I will take this thing now and I will listen to Classic FM on it for a bit. Why not? Anyway, until next time, take care. Whatever you're doing, do it properly, of course. May your God be with you, whoever he or she is, and take care. And until next time, bye bye. And, well, happy listening.